Let us start with our first sum. Tan inverse of x plus under root 1 plus x square. Now on the right hand side we have already written the common substitution that we will be using. Our first step will be to remove the root. In in this sum, inside the root we have 1 plus x square. So we can either substitute x is equals to tan theta or equals to cot theta. We can do either of the substitution. Let us first start with, let us substitute x equals to cot theta. Now substituting x is equal to cot theta. Now the step becomes tan inverse of, instead of x we will write cot theta plus under root 1 plus cot square theta. Now inside the bracket we can write cot theta plus root of 1 plus cot square is cosec square, and the root of cosec square will be cosec theta. Now will our first priority has been satisfied. So now we will try to bring the function inside the bracket same as that of outside. So we'll convert cot and cosec in terms of sine and cos. So we can write cos by sine plus 1 by sine theta. Taking the LCM, now we can write tan inverse of 1 plus cos theta upon sine theta. Now we already know this identity. For 1 plus cos theta, this is the modified form of cos 2 theta. So the 1 plus cos theta can be written as 2 cos square theta by 2. So we'll use this identity here, and we'll write the next step can be tan inverse of 2 times of cos square theta by 2 upon, even sine theta can be converted in terms of theta by 2. So we can write 2 sine theta by 2 into cos theta by 2. We have used identity for sine 2 theta. So since we have sine theta, we have written in terms of theta by 2. Now the next step would be, we can cut 2 and cos theta by 2. So next step can be tan inverse of cos theta by 2 upon sine theta by 2. Further, cos upon sine will make cot theta by 2, and hence now since we have tan inverse outside, we will try to bring tan inside. So we can use the complementary function identity. So we can write tan inverse tan of pi by 2 minus theta by 2. So now we can remove tan inverse and tan, both are inverse of each other. So finally we can write pi by 2 minus theta by 2. Now theta was introduced by us, it was a supposition, so we need to again resubstitute theta in terms of inverse function. So we can write x is equals to cos theta, which means theta can be written as cot inverse of x. So now we'll substitute cot inverse x instead of theta, and our final answer can be pi by 2 minus cot inverse of x whole by 2. Let us see the next sum, tan inverse of under root 1 plus x square minus x. We already have the common substitution on the right hand side. So if we compare this sum with the substitutions that are available, the second substitution will suit here. So for root of 1 plus x square, we can either do the substitution of x is equals to tan theta or x is equals to cot theta. So we can use any of the one function. Here we can see we can use either tan or cot, and let us use here cot. Why have we have used cot? You can even use the tan theta, but for the simplicity here cot theta would be preferable. So our next step can be tan inverse of under root 1 plus cot square theta minus of cot theta. Now root of 1 plus cot square becomes root of cosec square, and hence we can now write tan inverse of cosec theta minus cot theta. Our first priority has been now satisfied. We have already removed the root. Now our second priority is to bring the function inside. So we'll convert cosec and cot in terms of sine and cos. So now we are left with 1 by sine minus cos by sine inside the bracket. Now taking the LCM, we'll get 1 minus cosec cos theta upon sine theta. Now we want to bring tan inside the bracket. So what we can do is we can use this identity of 1 minus cos theta, the modified form of cos 2 theta identity. So 1 minus cos theta is nothing but 2 sine square theta by 2. So we'll use this identity, and we can write tan inverse of 2 sine square theta by 2 in the numerator. So we'll write tan inverse 2 sine square theta by 2 in numerator. For denominator, since in numerator we are writing in terms of theta by 2, we'll write again sine theta into theta by 2. So we'll use the multiple angle formula, that is sine theta can be written as 2 sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2. Now 2 and 1 of the sine theta by 2 gets cancelled. So we will cancel these two, and now we are left with, inside the bracket, it would be sine theta by 2 upon cos theta by 2, which is nothing but sine upon cos will become tan. So we can say inside the bracket now we will get tan theta by 2, which was our main objective, to bring the function inside. Now tan inverse and tan can be removed and we can take theta by 2 outside. But again, this theta by 2 was supposed by us, it was our substitution, so we will need to resubstitute theta in terms of inverse function, and hence we can say x is equals to cot theta. So theta is equals to nothing but cot inverse x. So here we will substitute and we'll get the final answer as cot inverse x whole by 2. So let us start with our next sum. Again, the first priority would be to remove the root, and from right hand side common substitutions are given. We can say the one that matches with our sum is 1 plus x square, root of 1 plus x square. So here we can substitute x is equals to either tan theta or equals to cot theta. So let's say we are substituting x is equals to tan theta. So now the sum becomes tan inverse under root of 1 plus tan square minus 1 upon tan. 1 plus tan square becomes sec square. We already know the trigonometric identity, and root of sec square will be sec theta. So this becomes sec theta minus 1 upon tan theta. Now since our first priority has been satisfied, our second priority would be to bring the function inside the bracket same as that of outside. The outside function is tan inverse, so we'll try to bring tan inside. What we can do is we can convert this in terms of sine and cos. So sec can be written as 1 by cos, minus 1 upon tan can be written as sine by cos. By taking the LCM, finally we would get tan inverse 1 minus cos theta upon sine theta. Now we are already aware of this trigonometric identity. 1 minus cos theta is the modified form of cos 2 theta, where we can write 1 minus cos theta equals to 2 sine square theta by 2, and sine theta can be written as 2 sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2. Now we can cut 2 and 1 of the sine theta by 2, and finally this answer would be tan inverse of sine theta by 2 upon cos theta by 2, which can be written as tan theta by 2. So now we'll get tan inverse of tan theta by 2. Tan inverse and tan can be removed, and finally we can say it is equals to theta by 2. Now theta was again introduced by us, so we need to convert theta in terms of some inverse trigonometric function. So we can say since x is equals to tan theta, theta will be equals to tan inverse of x. So here our final answer would be tan inverse of x whole by 2. Let us now move to our next sum. Tan inverse under root 1 plus x square plus 1 upon x. Now again our priority would be to remove the root. The correct substitution can be x is equals to tan theta or cot theta. So let us assume x is equals to tan theta here. We can go with any one, either tan or cot. Eventually we will get the same answer. So tan inverse here it would be under root 1 plus tan square plus 1 upon tan. 1 plus tan square becomes sec square, and root of sec square becomes sec theta. So this becomes tan inverse under root of sec square, that is sec, plus 1 upon tan. Now, since our first priority is satisfied, now we'll try to bring the function inside the bracket same as that of first. So for that we'll convert secant tan in terms of sine and cos. Now after taking the LCM, our next step can be tan inverse 1 plus cos upon sine. Cos theta will be the denominator for numerator and denominator both, and hence will get cancelled out. Now we already know the identity here. 1 plus cos is the modification of cos 2 theta, where we can say 1 plus cos theta will be equals to 2 cos square theta by 2. And sine theta can be again written in terms of theta by 2 as 2 sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2. Again 2 gets cancelled out and one of the cos gets cancelled out. So finally what we'll get is tan inverse of cos upon sine becomes cot theta by 2. Now here we'll get cot theta by 2. So what we can do is convert cot theta into tan using complementary function identity. So cot theta by 2 will be equals to tan of pi by 2 minus theta by 2. So this becomes equals to, now tan inverse and tan can be removed, and finally we can say our answer is pi by 2 minus theta by 2. Again theta was introduced by us. We'll reconvert theta in terms of inverse trigonometric function. So we can say theta becomes equals to tan inverse x. So finally here our answer should be pi by 2 minus tan inverse of x whole by 2. This is our final. Let us see our next sum. Tan inverse of under root a minus x upon a plus x. Now there is no standard identity to substitute for a minus x and a plus x, but what we can do is whenever this kind of constant is added, first we'll remove that and we'll try to figure out what we can do for 1 minus x and 1 plus x. So from right hand side we can say we can use the third identity 1 plus x and 1 minus x. We can substitute x is equals to cos theta. Here it is bit reversed. It is 1 minus x in the numerator and 1 plus x in the denominator, but again we can use the same identity or same substitution. Now if it would have been 1 minus x and 1 plus x, we would have substituted x is equals to cos theta, but instead of 1 here we have a, we will write x equals to a cos theta. Now the next step can be, after substitution we can say it is a minus a cos theta and a plus a cos theta. Again we can remove a from numerator and denominator, and now we are left with under root of 1 minus cos theta upon 1 plus cos theta. Now still our first priority remains, and that is to remove the root. What we can do is we can use the modified form of cos 2 theta. So 1 minus cos theta can be written as 2 sine squared theta by 2, and 1 plus cos theta can be written as 2 cos squared theta by 2. So 2 gets cancelled out and sine square by cos square becomes tan square, and we are left with tan inverse of under root tan square theta by 2. Root and square can be removed and we can write tan inverse of tan theta by 2. Again inverse function and the normal function can be removed and directly we can write it as theta by 2. Theta was introduced by us, so we'll do the resubstitution. So from here we can say x is equals to a cos theta. This means x by a equals to cos theta, which means theta would be cos inverse of x by a. So finally we can write it as theta by 2 can be cos inverse of x by a whole by 2. This is our answer. Let us see next sum. Tan inverse of x upon a plus root of a square minus x square. Now our first priority would remain same, that is to remove the root. We don't have any identity for root of a square minus x square, but if we remove this a then and write 1 inside, then we can compare this with the common substitution to the right hand side. The first one we can use here. So we can either substitute x is equals to sine theta or x is equals to cos theta. So we'll, instead of a, if we had root of 1 minus x square, we would have substituted x is equals to sine theta. But because we have a square inside, now we'll write x is equals to a sine theta. So for our given sum, we'll substitute x is equals to a sine theta. Then our next step would become tan inverse of a sine theta upon a plus under root of a square minus a square sine square theta. Now what we can do is we can take a square common, so root of a square becomes a, so the numerator will be same, a sine theta, upon in the denominator we'll get a plus a under root of 1 minus sine square. Now from numerator and denominator we can remove a is there in all the three terms, so we can remove a. And now the next step would be tan inverse of sine theta upon 1 plus root of 1 minus sine square will be root of cos square, and root of cos square will be cos. So we'll write 1 plus cos theta in the denominator. Now in the next step, what we can do is we can use the identity of 1 plus cos theta, which is equals to 2 cos square theta by 2. So we'll convert even sine theta in terms of theta by 2. So we'll use the identity of sine 2 theta, and in the denominator we'll use this given identity. Okay, so our next step would be tan inverse of, in the numerator we can write 2 sine theta by 2 into cos theta by 2, while in the denominator we can write 2 cos square theta by 2. So now 2 will get cancelled out, one of the cos theta by 2 will get cancelled out, and the finally we'll get tan inverse of sine theta by 2 upon cos theta by 2, which becomes tan theta by 2. Now tan inverse and tan can be removed and we can take theta by 2 outside. So our answer would be theta by 2. But since theta was our substitution, we will resubstitute in terms of sine inverse. So x is equals to a sine theta, we can say x by a will be equals to sine theta, and now we can say theta is nothing but sine inverse of x by a. So we'll substitute here sine inverse of x by a. Our final answer would be sine inverse x by a whole by 2. Okay, next is let's see our next sum, sine inverse of x plus root of 1 minus x square by root 2. Here we have root of 1 minus x square, which we need to remove, so we can either substitute x is equals to sine or x equals to cos. For our simplicity, we'll use x is equals to sine. We can even use x is equals to cos theta. Eventually the answer would be same. So by substituting x is equals to sine theta, what we'll get is sine inverse of x plus, so instead of x we can write sine theta, so we can write sine theta plus under root 1 minus sine square, and root of 1 minus sine square is cos square, so root of cos square becomes cos, so our answer would be sine theta plus cos theta by root 2. So the next step can be written as, now what we can do is we are interested in bringing the function inside the bracket same as that of outside. So I will write 1 by root 2 to each and every term. So 1 by root 2 will be given to sine and 1 by root 2 will be given to cos. Why we did this? Because now we can convert this into some kind of identity addition formula. So for 1 by root 2 I will write it is equals to cos pi by 4, and in the second term for 1 by root 2 I will write it is equals to sine pi by 4, because now this becomes an formula for sine of alpha plus beta. This is an addition formula. So inside the bracket we can write sine inverse sine of pi by 4 plus theta. Now sine inverse and sine both are inverse of each other. We can remove that, and now we can write pi by 4 plus theta. But theta was our substitution, so we'll resubstitute in terms of inverse. So we can say theta is nothing but sine inverse of x. So finally what we get is pi by 4 plus sine inverse of x. Let us see our next sum, sine inverse of, inside the bracket we have root of 1 plus x plus root of 1 minus x by 2. Again, by seeing in the right hand side for the common substitution, we can use 1 plus x and 1 minus x. Substitution for 1 plus x and 1 minus x. There is only one substitution, and that is x equals to cos theta. So here we will substitute x is equals to cos theta. So by substituting, the next step would be inside the bracket we will get root of 1 plus cos theta plus root of 1 minus cos theta whole by 2. So 1 plus cos theta and 1 minus cos theta is nothing but the modified identities of cos 2 theta. So for 1 plus cos theta we can substitute 2 cos square theta by 2, whereas in case of 1 minus cos theta we can substitute 2 sin square theta by 2, and the denominator would remain same as it is, so divide by 2. Now root 2 is common in the numerator, so we can take root 2 common, divide by 2, and inside the bracket we can write root of cos square becomes cos theta by 2 and the root of sin square becomes sin theta by 2. So we'll write this inside the bracket. Now root 2 by 2 will become 1 by root 2. So here we can write 1 by root 2 cos theta by 2 and 1 by root 2 sin theta by 2 after opening the brackets. Again, this is much similar to our last sum, so we'll try to bring sign inside, so we can use the addition formula. So instead of 1 by root 2, now we can write sin pi by 4 or cos pi by 4. So we'll adjust sin pi by 4 and cos pi by 4 to match with our identity. So we'll write sin inverse. Here I will write sin pi by 4 because I have cos already. So sin pi by 4 into cos theta by 2, plus in the second term I will write cos pi by 4 because I have sin theta by 2 inside. So now this becomes our condition for addition formula of sine. So we can write sin inverse sine of addition of two angles, that is pi by 4 plus theta by 2. Now sin inverse and sine can be removed, and now we are left with just pi by 4 plus theta by 2. Again, theta was our substitution. We'll resubstitute in terms of x, and so we can say theta is nothing but cos inverse of x. So we'll resubstitute theta as cos inverse of x, and our answer would become pi by 4 plus cos inverse of x whole by 2. Let us see the next sum. Sine of, inside the bracket we have 2 tan inverse root of 1 minus x upon 1 plus x. This is the first sum where we have inverse function inside the bracket and trigonometric function outside the bracket. Now, but the priority remains same. We'll remove 1 plus x and 1 minus x, root of 1 plus x, 1 minus x. So we are left with just one substitution, that is x is equals to cos theta. So we'll substitute x is equals to cos theta here. Now, after substituting x is equals to cos theta, the bracket will become 2 tan inverse of, inside the root we'll have 1 minus cos upon 1 plus cos. Now this is the common identity we have used in almost every sum. Instead of 1 minus cos we can use 2 sin square, and instead of 1 plus cos we can use 2 cos square. So we'll write root of 2 sin square theta by 2 and 2 cos square theta by 2. 2 gets cancelled, and finally we are left with root of tan square theta by 2. Now sine of, we'll get 2 tan inverse of root of tan square becomes tan, so we are left with tan inverse of tan theta by 2. Now in the next step what we'll get is, inside the bracket tan inverse and tan can be removed, and we are just left with 2 times of theta by 2. 2 can be cancelled out again, and for the next step we'll be just left with sine of theta. Now we cannot write this as our final answer because theta was our substitution, it was introduced by us. So we can write theta in terms of x as theta is equals to cos inverse of x. So we'll resubstitute theta as cos inverse x, and now we are left with sine of cos inverse of x. Now again there is problem here. The outside function is sine, while inside the bracket we have cos inverse. Now for this type of sums, we have seen already earlier that we need to convert cos inverse in terms of sine inverse. So for that, what we'll do is we'll use the right angle triangle approach. So we'll draw a right angle triangle, take any angle as theta. Since we have cos inverse x is equals to theta, so cos theta will be equals to x, so that is x by 1. Adjacent side would be x and hypotenuse is 1. The third side, according to Pythagoras theorem, would be root of 1 minus x square. So now we can write sine of sine inverse of opposite upon hypotenuse, that is root of 1 minus x square upon 1. for students who are confused how we reached to sine inverse of root of 1 minus x square, here we can see cos theta is x by 1 and sine theta is what? The opposite upon hypotenuse, that is root of 1 minus x square by 1. So theta can be written in terms of sine inverse of root of 1 minus x square by 1. So this is how we came with the sine inverse. Now sine and sine inverse can be removed and we are left with root of 1 minus